Warning, this podcast contains language not suitable for children and some adults.
Long, long ago, in a dark and forgotten part of history, when magic thrived and ancient secrets still lay buried beneath the earth, on the edge of an ancient forest there lay a small village. This village was built on the border of two great empires, but placed as to be hidden from the eyes of the outside. In order to protect the village from what they thought to be the evils of magic, sacrifices of man and animal alike were made to the old god Velish. In the history of the settlement, only one person dared to question why magic was hated so. A young woman by the name of Helena would soon discover that she was special, the first of the village to possess the arcane arts, the person who would soon destroy the village of Bourne. And now... Come along for the ride of your life. And you didn't let me do my thing with the arms. Yeah, this is the universal I'm recording sign.
We got to be talking shit,
and then he's
got to find a good spot to start it, and then put his hands in his lap.
Sorry,
that's like his
I'm
action.
a new host. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, so Anne's the host now?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Take it away, Anne.
No, I'm a host.
Yeah.
You said the.
No. Play it back.
Hello, and welcome to a new season of Oops, We Broke the Multiverse. I'm your host, as always, Anthony O'Neill. Across the table from me is our special host this evening, Anne-Marie Cruz. To my right is Sean Cruz. He is my friend, my partner.
Nope.
And the other person, we're not partners?
I'm his partner.
Well, yeah, sexually. Well, yeah.
And I'm also here.
She obviously hasn't seen our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Oh.
We get pretty dirty on YubDub.
Yep.
And of course, tonight we're switching gears here. We're no longer playing Blades in the Dark. Hopefully we can one day rejoin that campaign and maybe do something small on our Patreon or something. Go back to it because it's a super fun game. But the whole idea behind this podcast is that we play different types, different genres, and this season we are playing Monsters of the Week, hosted, DM'd, and edited by the amazing Anthony Gabba.
I will do my best, because that's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, you're not drawing this week, so.
I never draw. You don't want my drawings.
No.
Ooh, speaking of which, I'm taking over the drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll finally be some good ones, guys.
Hey. I kind of liked them. No, I really liked them.
No, I loved them.
I was
According
really
to Facebook, you loved them.
I loved them every time.
Yes.
So I'm taking over from my husband since he's doing like other stuff, and I'm an amazing artist.
Oh yeah, way better than me.
He's doing fantasy football stuff. And he's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to work that much.
Yeah.
That's his voice.
Being a
spot on.
director and a father
Yep.
and, all that. Fancy football.
Ah,
And a
kids,
teacher of
homeowner.
art.
I practically raised myself. Kids don't need dads.
Yeah. There you
Video games raised you.
Exactly.
go. Yeah, and you're fine.
Yeah,
it's
you're
fine.
doing great.
Just got out of prison.
Yeah.
You're running a podcast.
Living with your grandma.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
For the audience, one of those things is not true.
Yes, you decide. Hit us up on Instagram. You tell us.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, new platforms. We're on
So-
new platforms.
before we get started into this game of Monsters of the Week, we want to give a special shout out and tell you guys to hey, go on Facebook. You can join our Facebook there. You pointed at letters I couldn't read upside down.
Sorry, it's Monster of the Week, not Monsters.
Yeah, there's
of
no
the
S.
Week. It's not plural.
I was going to tell
Oh.
you later, but that's okay. It's
Oh,
not
we
a
only,
huge
so
deal.
we only
Don't
have
let 'em
one
record.
monster a game.
Yeah.
Monster of the Week. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
I didn't want you to keep going with it, and I'm like, oh shit, he doesn't know.
You can look for us on Facebook at Oops, We Broke the Multiverse Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram as well, and go to our Patreon and support us. You can also just look for us on Buzzsprout as well. Now let's switch gears. Let's get right into our game, right into our nitty gritty. Anthony, would you like to introduce this game? What is it? What is it about? Who does it? Give all the props and stuff.
I suppose I can do that. So, as Anthony said, it's Monster of the Week
No plural.
by Michael Sands. It is actually also an Evil Hat Productions game, just like our last one. That wasn't on purpose. That was
welcome,
just
Evil
something
Hat.
I noticed. No arbitrary money system in this one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They got picky
Is it
now.
Adam? What's the name of the guy?
Michael Sands,
It's not Sand, right? It's not plural.
Sands.
Oh, so it is plural. Okay.
Yes.
That's going to be confusing for O'Neill.
I mean, technically sand is plural, but, in name format, it gets an S.
Yeah.
Put the kids in the Sands box.
Okay. And as far as what it's about, think Supernatural or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel. It's that, but tabletop role-playing game form.
What system are we playing?
This is the Apocalypse system.
What's that, Anthony?
Yeah, go into what that is.
So you use 2d6 for all your dice rolls. You don't have to have anything crazy. You can dig into your Yahtzee box and get dice for this game.
Yahtzee box.
It's pretty easy. 1 through 6 is a fail. 7 through 9 is a partial success. And then 10 plus is a full success. And depending on the skill, 12 plus is a critical with some extra bonuses.
Ooh. I do like me some extra bonus.
Dude, last week.
Oh, got some heavy breathers during the Halloween episode?
It was very exciting, intense.
Was I breathing really heavily?
Yeah, I remember we kept calling you out on it. We're
Oh.
like, what is that? Oh, it's you.
It's because the microphone's
I mean-
always too close to my mouth and it just picks up me breathing out of my nose.
Apparently, I do it too. It's fine.
Well, luckily I found tabletop role-playing games so I could stop doing drugs that ruined me breathing out of my nose. Don't do drugs, kids. Play role-playing games. That's what we're all about. You won't be picked up on microphones and be called out by your fucking so-called friends.
All right, so Anthony, why did you pick this game? Why the fuck are we doing this?
Well, I've always wanted to play this game, and admittedly, I really enjoyed it when the Adventure Zone played it. So I said, fuck it, why not?
Shout out to the Adventure Zone,
Yep.
the McElroys.
Yep.
You could be a sponsor.
We're big fans. We're big fans.
Huge fans. Well, that's it. It's not like a super special reason. I've just always wanted to play it.
Right on.
And so what grabs you about this genre? Like Monster of the Week? Is it like the Buffy the Vampire? Did you grow up on that or?
Oh, yeah. I absolutely grew up watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer and
Yeah.
Xena and Hercules.
Yeah, I have gay moms too.
All
Hi,
right, well,
Mom. She's a
let's-
Patreon supporter.
Let's go.
All right. You ready? Okay. As part of the Department of Paranormal Entities, also known as DOPE.
DPR. Or DPE.
Yeah, DPE.
Yeah.
Or I guess I should say affectionately known as DOPE.
Yeah.
There you go.
Your job is to investigate the odd and unknown in a world full of the odd and unknown. Kind of like the X-Files, except monsters are real and everybody knows about them. Which takes you to current times. The year is 2004. The height of pop punk. The height of... I was going to say the height of pop music, but that's not...
No,
that's not right.
It's not over.
Oh, it was a great time.
It was
Yeah.
a pretty good time
We had
for pop
Eiffel
music.
65 on the radio. Like, shit was good, man. We had Aqua.
It was
we
an
had...
awesome time.
But that paints the picture, right? Yeah, it's a post 9/11 world. Pop punk is on the radio.
Yep.
Everything's great. sort
Jinkos
of.
are still in style for some reason.
Are they though?
Hot Topic is cool. I don't know.
No
Hot
Jinkos.
Topic
That's
was
No
90s.
Jinkos?
You got beat up if you were wearing Champions sweaters and stuff, and like
No.
kids were constantly calling each other the F word.
Everybody's
I
wearing
do
No
see-
Fear shirts.
Yeah.
I do think we should go into that more in our intro episode today because I think that plays a part. Definitely plays a part for my character. I'll tell you that. I'm dipping into the early 2000s for sure.
So surprising.
All right, almost done. You are being sent out to investigate multiple sightings of people who have been dying in horrible ways. Except, people have called about what seems to be the same person dying in multiple horrible ways. And then is promptly seen the next morning walking to the local diner for breakfast.
Seems like a man after my own heart.
Wait,
Now we can do character intros.
I wasn't paying attention.
That's fine. You can listen to it later.
I usually take all the notes.
All right. So we're going to do character intros.
All right.
Who wants to start?
All right, I'll start. So it's season 2. I'm Sean Cruz, and I'll be playing Simon Beadwetter. He's a college age kid, blonde with a bowl cut, because that was never cool, but he still rocks it in 2004. He's kind of scrawny. He's got some large Millhouse type glasses, a la Simpsons, and his pants are typically too short, and he's always rocking that Wizards of the Coast t-shirt. He does work for DPE, and a little backstory on him. We'll go and introduce it to him. I am Simon Beadwetter. One night, after an especially rousing D&D session with my compadres, I was walking to the bus stop. My backpack spilled, and I missed the bus by a few minutes, so I began walking home. I ran into a homeless man who said he needed some money, and I just kept my head down and walked faster, of course. But he went crazy, and he bit my arm, and he stole my bag. When I woke up the next day, I thought I had superpowers like Spider-Man, but it turns out I completely turned into someone different. I turned into Crash is the name. I'm kind of the big deal on campus, bro. My favorite song right now is Party Hard by Andrew WK. It's kind of my theme song, yo. I'm the anti-Simon. I've got looks. I've got guns. He raises his arms and flexes. And I'm great at kicking monster ass. Also, I've got some pretty dope skills, bro. Like I can track scents and hear shit like a boss. You see, Simon and Crash are a werewolf. Though the typical werewolf would change into a raving beast, Simon can change into a werewolf pretty much whenever he wants. And he turns into a humanoid with an entirely different personality, which is where Crash comes in. The two actually make quite the duo, as Simon has studied the paranormal all his life, and Crash can take on any threat that comes their way. They got mixed up with Dope, as they call it, when the Department of Paranormal Entities caught Crash at Emerald City Comic-Con, when he was found to not actually be a cosplayer, but an actual wolfman. When Simon showed them that he could turn into Crash and back into Simon at his own timing, he was offered the job on the spot. The man that caught him that day was none other than Colonel Balthazar Tiberius Foster.
Wow, it's like really hard to follow up with that.
You kind of have to do fucking Colonel Gentleman over here after that.
Well, that's what I told him.
Yeah, you
But he likes
led.
to go last.
You stopped with.
Yeah, I think that would
Right.
flow.
I believe it's my turn. I'm Colonel Balthazar Tiberius Foster. I was born in Liverpool, Great Britain on March 20th in 1776. I actually fought in the French Revolutionary War in 1782. That's where I gained the moniker of Colonel. I returned home from the war and studied at Oxford University, where I studied archaeology. I became an expert on ancient artifacts. And I began an expedition, actually, to Brazil in 1818, the age of 42. I went because I was looking for immortality, because I was dying from syphilis, which I actually got from Mozart, not to name drop. My quest was to find the elusive fountain of youth, and after 10 years of failure, mutiny, and cannibals, later I was abandoned in the unexplored jungles of South America alone, where on the doorstep of death I finally found the elusive fountain of immortality. And as the liquid hit my lips, I fell unconscious, and when I awoke, I was stupefied to find that I was cured. Not of syphilis, yes, but I looked at my hands and I was still in the body of a 52-year-old man. Talk about your all-time backfire. So I returned home to England and I realized that I had been asleep for quite some time there at the Fountain of Youth. It was now 1876, and I had to kind of change my moniker and countries along the way, but I was found by the Department of Paranormal Entities, where I now live and work for some years. That's where I met this kid pup. What's your name? Simon Bedwetter,
Simon Beadwetter. You know
Yes.
this. We're in meetings every morning together.
a.k.a. Crash. Also, I found my long lost daughter or niece or whatever it is. Great separation of. I don't know. My sexuality is kind of a blur, so it might be my daughter. I don't know. In fact, around the office, they like to play the game Who's Gay in History.
I don't partake in that specific game.
You'd be surprised. A lot of the founding fathers of this country. A lot of them.
Okay, hold on.
You know that Bill of Rights they all signed? More like a bill of who's gay.
Or like a bathroom wall.
I have that same tattoo on my lower back, if you know what I mean.
All right, Ann. Let Ann go. Come on, let's go.
Ann's turn.
You got this, Ann. Okay. Yeah, do it. You got it.
Take a drink.
Hurry up.
Play it your way. You got this.
All right. I'm Hazel Foster. I'm a witch, but I didn't know it. It wasn't until I was going through my mother's journals. It was actually her mother's, so my grandmother's, and she kept talking about this Balthazar, Colonel, whatever. I don't know. She mentioned him multiple times. It means probably like some distant relative. So, of course, nosy ass me, I go on, was it AOL at the time? Because it was many years back. I dialed up my internet, warmed it up, and and I started looking for colonels, which was really hard, 'cause, you know.
It's a hard word to spell.
Yeah, it is. Spelled it completely wrong in my journal. Anyways, I was looking through. I discovered that she was a witch. I was able to make out only 2 spells that my mom had actually transcribed and like translated. And it's a fire spell and ice spell. She was very much into Pat Benatar. And I guess she just got lazy and was just fine with fire and ice. I had no idea. They hid it all from me, much like they hid this great uncle that I was related to that's still alive today. Currently, I'm still decoding a bunch of spells. And I'm doing okay. It just takes me weeks sometimes. But I did find Balthazar, and he dragged me into the dope industries.
DPE.
Dope.
These young kids in that dope, I tell you.
Which I don't think they understand what the acronyms actually spell out into. Anyways, I'm overly prepared. I have too many herbs, powders, and spices in my little fanny packs. I'm just trying to make my way through and pretend that I can do it. Just fake it till I make it, while I learn from my great uncle.
And you found your way to Pop Pop.
I'm not calling him that.
Call me Pop Pop. Speaking of all that fire and ice stuff, we're going to play a game called Who's Gay in History. I met this author one time a while back. Oh, did you have some? Go ahead. You can go ahead.
I'm just laughing. I was waiting for you to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, young author, just finally on his up and going. He says, "What do you think of this title? A Song of Air and Mud?" And I said, No, that's not right. You got to change it. Anyways, I'm going to get out of you and then get out of here.
I didn't do an accent, so do I suck?
No.
No, it was good.
Did your character just canonically meet Robert Jordan?
No.
George R.R. Martin.
Or George R.R. Martin? Sorry, there's been a lot of Wheel of Time talk lately.
Oh.
Especially since they're coming out with a new season.
So what is DPE?
So basically, you want me to take this one?
It's your organization.
It's not our organization. Everyone has a boss. There's always a bigger fish there, bedwetter. So basically, I was recruited back in the 70s, right out of Woodstock. It was a very confusing time then. Lots of drugs. And they said, "You want to come work for us? Because we know you're immortal. We know you've been alive for a very long time." And I just saw Jimi Hendrix do a 16-minute guitar solo, and so I was ready for anything at that fucking moment. And I said yes. Ever since then, I've been working for the DPE. What we do is we investigate paranormal entities, like the fucking name says, and we go out and we try to either get them to stop killing people, maybe join the organization, help them through the tumultuous transition between being ordinary. Yes, sometimes I do have sex with them. Being an ordinary person.
That's not part of the protocols, by the way.
Just because I didn't have sex with you. Calm down there, bedwetter. And yeah, we try to get them to either join our organization and try to stop people from being killed, or we kind of just eliminate the competition, so to speak.
Well, sometimes we study them. We even ask them to join the team, a la us, right?
Yes, we do recruit some people. So if you're out there looking for a job, monsters, weird folk, powerful people, and entities,
Or bedwetters.
we're always
Bin Laden.
hiring.
No.
We haven't caught him yet.
Stop.
Maybe
Stop that.
some well-versed translators. You know, help me out.
Well, be careful because now we're going to get emails from psychics thinking that we just created some very real
I am
crazy
so
organization.
excited to get, I dare say, more emails than we already get. Because who fucking emails somebody?
A lot. It's 2004.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone
Everyone.
emails.
Yeah.
Watch an email.
Well,
You've got
actually,
mail.
everyone instant messages on AIM.
It's that thing that when you start having some whiskey and you get in your recliner and you ask me to read what the internet people are saying,
Oh, yes.
that's an email.
You know, I got on one of those chat rooms, and it just wasn't for me.
Right.
There's too many people just showing their papy. What do I want to see it on a screen for? I want it in my mouth. Get out of here.
I hear they're going to make subscription services for that soon. That's exciting for me.
Will they deliver penises into my mouth?
Fish in a barrel, I'll tell you that. I have money to spend.
I love that we're going to have no end of 2004 jokes.
No. Absolutely bottomless
for it.
pit of
I did, and that's
value.
exactly why I picked the year.
Yeah, you asked like 30-year-olds to talk about 2004. Here we go. Buckle up.
I miss those days.
All right, let's get into it.
Anyway,
We were into it.
So, Jeeves, what was your name again? Man of mystery in the zoot suit who delivers us our assignments? What was your name again?
undecided. I am the keeper. I didn't plan on you guys having a boss.
Oh, well, we always have a handler, like someone just, here's the next assignment.
Yeah.
Go there, take care of it.
Yeah, we have it's like BPRD. We get set on our investigations. We answer to somebody, so we just got to come up with like, okay, what's the boss's name? We can come up with that. So
Let's introduce them next episode.
his name is
then.
Mr. X.
Because the way this
Mr.
starts,
Smith.
yeah, right? I could. The way this starts, you guys are already on your way to your assignment.
We can tell you what we envision that we're gonna do. It's like BPRD. Like somebody's going to tell us what to do and when and how. But you have to play that character, right? You're the NPC, so
Yeah, so we need a happy, so to speak.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
planned on giving you a boss.
I know, but we're here now.
No, that's fine. If you want one, I'll give you one.
That's what we're saying.
Well, the X-Files have a boss.
I'll go full on like Deep Throat, like Metal Gear Solid Deep Throat.
I don't know what that is.
Like
I don't know what
you
that
don't
is.
know who he is. You don't know his real name. He's just the guy
That's
that tells
fine.
you what to do.
It's like Inspector Gadget's boss.
I just want the guy who's like on the little like M&M commercials where he's like, this is your next assignment. He's like, no, this is an envelope.
So he's actually another immortal, and he has this odd-shaped scar on his face from when it was sliced open.
I don't get the reference.
Oh, you're Mr. X.
No, he got his face cut open. And I was gonna get married. Wow,
Hey, you could do that voice pretty good.
that was like 2 months ago.
well, he died.
Way
How-
longer.
No, I know,
Oh, okay.
but it was a
Way
different game.
longer.
I could still bring it back.
I wanted you to bring it back in better ways.
I need you guys to go to this town.
He's just always perpetually crying now. Never got over it. Never healed. No closure.
He just has a goiter.
If
on
he
the
was
side of
still
his neck.
alive, he could have just got married.
Instead of being killed by that dart, he just has a goiter on the side of his neck.
The Elephant Man.
On a cold November night in 2004, you find yourselves near Sumter in the northeastern part of Oregon. It's off-season in this area, so there are no tourist events or locals running amok aside from the dozen or so that retired to the area for peace and quiet. As you make the turn toward your destination of Bourne, you notice the light fading drastically as the overhead canopy of trees grows oddly and ever thicker. Riding through the twists and turns, you notice that something is different. It all looks and feels so ancient and untouched by human hands, even though there is a town not 10 minutes behind you. The foliage seems thicker here. The trees are massively wide and soaring high above, looking down on the tiny beings in the car. As you stare out into the sea of trees, it's almost as if there are dark figures keeping pace, protecting, no, hunting, poised and ready to strike at a moment's notice. But before you have time to ponder them any longer, you come upon an old Ford Bronco blocking the road. A man stands outside while talking on his radio, only turning to acknowledge you after his conversation.
So we have a man outside of a Ford Bronco blocking the road? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I guess just for context, this town is the one that called in all those...
Sumter?
No, Bourne.
Bourne. Did you say we're in Bourne?
Yeah, you're heading towards... You passed Sumter, and you're heading towards Bourne, Oregon.
Okay.
Who the fuck is standing out in the middle of the road in an Oregon winter? In the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Oregon.
Are you driving, or is it far too complicated for your old ass?
Yes, we're driving in my, 1956 Rockefeller fucking... No, I'm being driven.
1913 Studebaker.
Yeah, Studebaker.
Gotta crank it up.
As an Oregon native myself, I had to look up where the fuck Sumter and Bourne is.
It's in the boonies.
Very important places when you were around. Okay, so... Yeah, what are we driving? Guess that matters.
It will.
Yeah.
It would be fun to know.
I mean, it can be a regular car, but I envision, good old fucking Scooby-Doo van, right? Like something. If we got to haul something away, we got to be able to hide it.
Or if Colonel Gentleman over here is the one that's in charge, it's, his car from 200 years ago.
It could be a big station
wagon. I drive at 25 miles an hour, period.
Oh, good old classic, get in the front and crank start the engine.
Yeah.
No, that's a classic. You have to keep that in the garage now. You can't just take that
That's
out.
as close to town as I like to get. Yeah, if we're hauling away beasties back to headquarters, probably need something that's big enough to do that, right?
Yeah, so we're probably in a van, and I'm not driving a fucking van.
I will drive. I am young, and I have better eyes than probably you. Maybe not crash, though.
I'm young too.
Okay, but you have bottles for glasses.
It's better to see you with, or the road, the road. It's better to see the road.
It's fine. Women are known to be better drivers. It's fine.
Just not Parkers.
You do get very angry when you drive, though.
It's only when my favorite songs come on.
Don't call me a feminist, but I've always said that women are very
Loser.
good drivers. They just can't park.
I'm sorry, but that's not what you say. We're not with Hazel. You say all kinds of things about women drivers.
Yeah, that they can't park.
I can
There's more to it.
almost parallel park. It's not.
She?
I haven't found a spell for it yet. Otherwise, it's impossible.
A spell for parallel parking.
It's probably in the book.
This generation, I swear.
All right, so I'm driving
You guys just want like a
delivery
black
kind of,
Chevy Express van? Do you want like a SWAT van? Do you want...
Yeah, but it's a different color fender because I obviously hit something while trying to park, so I didn't get a new fender. So I had to take a different fender from a different van. So now that's like it's black with a red fender.
Okay.
Like the A-Team van? Right.
I don't know what that is.
It's a black van with red.
Shut up! No way.
All right, so there's a man outside of his truck parked
like an
on the
80s van,
highway. Well, kind of byway here. I'm going to get out of my car with my little cane in hand. I go and I stand in front of the van and I kind of tap my cane twice and I say, "Hello, sir."
He holds up his finger, goes 1 second, then he finishes talking on his radio. Then he hangs it up. He turns around and he goes, "Ah, yeah, I was expecting you. You guys hear about the strange deaths from one or the same person?
Why else would we be here in Sumter, Oregon?
You're not in Sumter. You're in Bourne, Oregon.
Who the fuck? Yes.
We drove past that, remember? Pop, pop.
I'm still in the car looking from behind the seat. I was in the back seat.
I'm sorry. I was driving. He was a terrible backseat driver. Just
Anyway, I'm Isaac Sheriff. Isaac Sheriff. Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
Isaac.
You can just call me Sheriff or Sheriff.
Sheriff.
Oh, I get it. Ha ha.
Oh, there he goes. Oh.
Oh. Careful now. Don't make me laugh too hard. My hemorrhoids will come out.
So sorry. I assure you, we are more than capable to helping you out than figuring our way over here. It's fine.
That's what the last two teams said. Anyway, I need your help before we go to town, and then I'm all yours. See, we had a little snafu earlier. A family was having a funeral for their dearly departed grandfather. What we found out the hard way was his grandson, little Eddie, is a necromancer.
Ooh, that's
Now I get
That's
out of
creepy.
the car
And-
and I close the van door and I start walking up with a little, one of those little cool recorders from Home Alone.
Well, I'm not surprised about that. I mean, like I said, there's only 4 people in this town. I imagine it gets pretty lonely here at night.
Is the sheriff going to take
I'm
that
not even-
shit?
Nope.
Be kind of an asshole.
Nope, he's not even gonna acknowledge that.
So I say, a necromancer, you say?
Yeah, we thought it was a little weird too, because Grandpa and him got right back up and walked to a cave in the back of the cemetery.
a cave.
But there's actually lots of caves back here, and I kind of need some help searching for them. You help me out with this, and I'm all yours for your investigation.
Is this not what we're investigating? As I look over to Simon and Balthazar.
Yeah, so Simon has come out of the van and he's got like one of those little recorders like on Home Alone. He's got a little notebook. He's super just into this, right? And he's like, you mentioned a necromancer? Did I hear you correct?
Yeah, necromancer.
An 8-year-old boy?
None of us knew about it. Must have been the shock of Grandpa dying.
Not to be confused with, well, never mind.
An 8-year-old boy wielding such power, and you say he was successful at bringing his grandfather back from the dead.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I don't think there's anything,
Are
there's been anything like that recorded.
I mean, it happens all the time around here.
Necromancers or...
His grandpa was a necromancer.
Oh.
Runs in the family. Usually it doesn't manifest till after you're 20.
So it's a whole town of necromancers then.
Nope, just the family. Just the Kelly family.
And
So there's more than one family here. Oh, good God.
have you been able to locate them, or you need help locating them in the caves? That's the thing.
We're just trying to find little Eddie. Pay attention now.
You mentioned that both of them walked to a cave, or were spotted walking to a cave at the back of the cemetery.
Yes, but there's multiple caves. So an extra set of eyes couldn't hurt.
Should we start at, the caves?
Yeah, wherever they were last seen.
All right, well, I'll take you to the graves first, and then we can go from there. Maybe we'll see some footprints that
That's
aren't
huge.
the rest of the families, or towns, I should say, because everybody was here today. Follow me.
All right, guys.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna need lots of flashlights.
Yeah, so I imagine in our van we've got certain things, tools of our trade, flashlights, plenty of that.
Road flares.
You think Simon, in terms of like
Headlamp.
Dib from Invader Zim, he's all about this. So there's all kinds of books back there and shit too, in case he needs to reference something.
He puts like most doomsday preppers to shame, but it's not even his ultimate goal. He's just trying to make sure that he's ready for anything.
Yeah, aliens especially.
So I have my flashlight and, of course, my trusty silver cane sword.
That's a sword.
Of course, you never seen one of those? Come on over there to Pop Pop. You want to see how sharp it is?
No, thank you. No thanks.
While our players are getting their shots, let me talk to you a little bit about what we have in store for you, the audience. Of course, we have our Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/OWBTM podcast. But we're also on YouTube now. And we got a merch store coming out very soon, which you can find on Facebook or on Instagram at oopswebroke_the multiverse. So check us out and stay tuned.
Okay, so we follow him.
Okay.
I've got a whole bunch of books and shit in my hand about necromancers and stuff.
I'm still driving.
We're walking.
Yeah, you're walking up a gravel road now.
Just kidding.
Basically,
She's driving the gravel road.
unless you know it's there, you don't really see it, but there is a gravel road where his Bronco was stopped. It's like a gravel road, but you've seen the ones where like people don't drive on it, so grass is starting to grow in it, bushes are starting to creep in on the edges.
Okay.
So unless you know it's there, it's kind of hard to spot.
Right on.
God, this gravel is killer on my bunions.
You think after, all this time you'd learn how to walk in comfort. I'm sure there's a podiatrist that can help you with
I've
that.
been 52 years old for 200 and something years.
Apparently immortal doesn't mean healthy.
Well, I'm stuck at this fucking age. Don't look for immortality, kids. It's the devil. Just die like you're supposed to.
So Simon tries to keep up with the sheriff, and he asks, how many bodies have been raised by this family in the recent years?
Well, none in recent years until little Eddie's outburst.
You seem very calm about this.
It's nothing new around here. Just wait till we get into town.
So this town's like half living, half dead.
Is there any bodies that hit the floor? That song I just heard on the radio the other day.
That's a new banger.
So so when we meet the grandpa, are you wanting us to correct what was against nature and put him back into the grave?
No, I'll make Eddie do it. He just needs a little explaining. That's all.
Sir, would you be opposed to DPE examining this situation? Maybe we take the grandfather with us? I mean, your population sign doesn't change any.
Ever.
Yeah, no, we don't mess with remains around here.
the
Grandpa
fact that-
died a natural death. We're going to put him back in the grave and leave it be.
Yes, sir.
And so at this point, you guys are at the grave. It does look like something clawed and ripped its way out of the ground with freshly buried dirt, so it's not settled yet. There's a couple other mounds around where Grandpa should be that something tried to get out but wasn't successful, so you can safely assume that nothing's coming out of there. You do see a set of child's footprints and a bigger footprint / drag mark.
Doesn't look like he's walking quite properly. That's what you're saying.
Right.
Can we follow them?
You can follow them.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's investigate this mystery.
So, investigating mystery, there's a set of questions that we can ask that would probably help us, but would the sheriff be able to answer that, or is that like we ask the DM?
So when you're asking questions, you're talking to the keeper.
Okay.
The keeper, the keeper. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's investigate this area since it seems to be the good thing to do. And it says roll plus sharp on a 10 plus. You're gonna hold 2 questions. On a 7-9, hold 1 question. So I get 1 question.
I lean towards what's being concealed here, maybe. He seems awfully cool with all this.
Plus plus my my sharp.
And he doesn't want us to take the body.
I have a +1 sharp, so that moves me up to 9, so I'm still in the same bracket. I feel like maybe what can the necromancer do, or what can what can be the one who's brought back, what can it do, or what can hurt it would be a better question.
Well,
How do we
necromancers
take it
are
down?
humans, so
Yeah,
anything.
I'd rather almost investigate like the creature that was brought back.
Oh,
Right.
good point. Good point.
So he's no longer grandpa, he's now creature grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
He's zombie grandpa.
But never pop, because that's me, right, kiddo?
As long as you stop telling her how to drive.
How to park.
I'm curious how.
I don't tell
how
women how to
close-
drive. They know how to drive perfectly.
I wonder how close Hazel is to her pop. Like, is she still like skeptical about it, or is she
Not
like,
very close. I realized
It's a weird relationship.
you had a relationship with my great aunt who was your sister
Was not my sister.
or whatever.
So you rolled an 8.
I want to go ahead and
And her brother, too.
Hey.
It's a 2-for-1 special at that house.
I want to ask, what can it do?
Are you referring to Grandpa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
'cause
No,
then-
I'm just trying to make sure. So, Grandpa being a zombie, it's fairly basic.
Oh, he's a zombie.
He's being controlled by little Eddie. But I mean, as far as monster attacks, he can bite, he can claw, he can shamble.
Can he
If-
turn others into zombies?
Right. That was my question.
Negative.
So if he bites us, it's not a la, Walking Dead.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
I only get one question.
You can help out. If you can,
I'll help out.
If you can legitimately, if you can tell me how you're helping out.
What is helping out, Anthony?
So helping out is you roll 2d12, and then depending on your roll, you can give bonuses to the person you're helping's roll.
So that doesn't get us another question, though.
It can, because it changes the roll. So if Anne was sitting at a 9,
Yeah,
and
she is sitting
you,
at a 9.
you helped
It's a
out
partial. Yeah.
and got one more point, it bumps it up to a 10, and that changes.
Oh, so like I roll, and if my roll is better than hers, basically.
So if I roll a 10 on
I see,
helping
never
someone out, that's automatically a 12 because I have 2 for cool. Because I'm too cool for school. I'm also
On
too
helping out.
legit to quit. It'll bump you up to a 12.
What did you roll?
I didn't roll yet.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
So if
that.
he gets a 10 plus, it gives a +1 to Anne's roll.
so which would make her roll a 10.
Yeah, and then she'd be into that new bracket.
She would get one extra question.
Yeah.
Shall I help you? Would you like some help, my dear? Maybe asking a different question. You see, back in my day, this is how I'm helping her.
I
Telling
mean-
her a story based on like what questions to ask, so she can ask like maybe a different question.
Maybe relate it to like your last experience with zombies.
Well, she gets the same question. It's just you give more detail, right?
No, I
No,
get
she
one
gets
more
another question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, that's how I help her out.
which I would probably do what can hurt it.
Let me roll here. I roll a 8 plus 2 is 10. So +1 to your roll.
So Anne gets an extra question.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening to Old Pop Pop.
What can hurt it? Question mark.
Fire and blunt objects.
Ooh. I know that spell.
You also know ice.
Assuming you're talking about Grandpa still. And you're
Well-
not trying to beat up Sheriff or little Eddie.
I don't want to hurt a child who missed his grandpa so much he brought him back. Like, I feel like he needs a therapist.
Oh, you should just come with us to the DPE. We have well, to be honest, they're not that great a therapist, but we could help them out there.
I have good health care. Yeah.
Guide him as she like grows up into an adult necromancer. And then he could join the team with old Pop Pop here. Because let's be honest, I'll still be around. I'm always still around.
Okay, so we asked her questions.
All right. So
Okay,
blunt
you got
objects,
questions?
not sharp objects, not cutting off the head kind of objects.
No, you'd have to, destroy the brain. So blunt objects and fire.
All right.
All right. So we are going to continue to follow the footprints.
Yep. Sheriff goes, all right, well, this shouldn't be too hard, and starts following the footprints. And
All right.
after you take a few steps,
I think I'll lead this little brigade here. After all, I am a colonel and the greatest navy on earth. England, of course.
so after you guys start walking, it starts to get oddly dark. Darker than it was 30 seconds ago. Like all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock and not 3:30.
Does this normally get dark around here this time? We are in the northern hemisphere.
Sheriff puts his hands on his hips. He's like, huh. Yeah, no, it should still be, I mean, it's a little shady from the trees, but shouldn't be this dark outside.
This reminds me of this one time in the 80s over at David Bowie's house. You know who David Bowie is, right?
Yes, I think so.
Perfect.
Was that a part of your golden years that you learned that?
I like how we have we have an old guy, but he's not just an old guy. He's been to every party and every concert in history. He's done it all.
I've done them all. Wait, it all.
So it's dark.
Okay, so it got darker, and the
Yes.
sheriff doesn't think it's supposed to be that dark. So, do we see anything now as we approach? Are we approaching the caves now?
You can see them, and they're like 50 yards away.
Does it feel different outside? Is it getting colder?
Yeah, it's colder, it's darker.
Interesting. I start to thumb through my books about necromancers.
Well, so most of your knowledge about necromancers is things that you kind of picked up from your D&D books and stuff you found online.
Yeah.
Like, because you've never met one, you don't have any actual factual information.
Oh, it's
Other than what you've just
2004,
heard.
books have been written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, other than, what the Christian church, wrote about necromancers. Like, nobody really knows actual information. They tend to be very secluded. So, like, people know necromancers exist, just not where.
You know what's funny? Necromancy has always existed. Proof is right there in the pudding in that book you hold there.
So, Balthazar, you feel
My player's handbook.
hands around your neck.
Hands around my neck. Are they real hands or are they just dark hands?
What?
Like the darkness is choking me.
So, just for, this is when you would probably start reading a bad situation.
And what's that?
So reading a bad situation will allow you to ask questions in terms of what's going on.
Oh, now
that
you-
shouldn't be.
Oh, I'm gonna read a bad situation here. And not do very well. I have 4. I can't read anything. Because there's dark hands around my throat.
I can do that too, right? It's not just the group.
You can help out.
We each can't read a bad situation? Just one of us?
Well, but if you all rolled 12s, then I'd tell you everything.
I got 7 plus my cool, which I am not cool. Simon is not cool. He's got -1, so a 6.
Thanks for not helping me. Can I help out myself since I
Can I also help out?
Yeah, everybody can help out.
Okay, great. 6.
Nobody can help out. What are you talking about? But don't worry, Pop Pop's got it.
We're not
Pop Pop's
cool.
gonna draw his silver cane sword and take a swipe at whatever direction and whatever's holding his throat.
Do we see what's doing that though? I mean, is he just feeling it, or can we actually see hands?
Well, he's just feeling it,
Oh,
but
we don't see hands.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
So you look
s-
like a lunatic.
I
right
start
now.
noticing he's flailing about, so I take my flashlight and I shine it at him.
are you just flailing out of holy shit, something's choking me, or are you trying to attack?
I'm just kind of flailing holy shit, something's, grabbing me by the throat in the dark.
Okay, all right.
So I'm ready for anything, I just can't read the situation.
So the sheriff stops and he hears the thwipping of your cane sword, just and goes, "Oh, conflab it, they're back again." And he reaches into his coat pocket and he pulls out this silver ball. He goes, "Y'all might want to cover your eyes." And he spins it and turns it in half and throws it on the ground, and then he puts his arm over his eyes.
I cover my eyes.
Yeah, are you guys covering your eyes?
Yeah, I cover my eyes.
I squint.
You see the absolute brightest light you've ever seen in your life. It's like staring at the sun.
We can tell that even with our eyes closed. So I'd like to invest. I'd like to see what's being concealed here. There's more to this guy than.
Meets the eye.
Yeah, I mean,
He's kind of good looking in my book, too.
is that how the game works? Do I call that out? I'd like to
You
investigate
gotta
a
roll for
mystery?
it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh fuck. 5. Somebody want to help me out here?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm the only one who's cool.
Dice are sucking.
I got a 12 on help out, so...
Oh shit! So basically, that makes it so that Sean got a 12.
Perfect.
All right. So what is being,
High five.
what is being concealed here, Keeper?
So this kind of goes back to my intro a little bit with the shadow people running alongside the vehicle. And the sheriff says, damn it. He's like, fuck, I should have warned you about that. He's like, you got these shadow people coming out of nowhere. So far, they haven't really bothered anybody. They just kind of show up and disappear, but
You can ask him any question.
they seem to lack you for some reason. He's like, that light'll keep them away for a while. You won't see them till tomorrow night, maybe.
I feel like he was going to tell us that anyway. I asked what is being concealed here. Like, what is with the sheriff? Why is he equipped with some sort of weapon for these things? Like, I guess this is all very normal to him, and I want to know, is there anything you could tell us about?
He doesn't know why they're there. And like he said, so far they haven't hurt anybody. Balthazar being attacked by them was the first time that's happened. And the only reason he said something was because they showed up and he got caught.
Gotcha.
So he's definitely trying to hide stuff from you guys.
Okay.
All right, well, let's continue on down this dark path. And just know I got my eyes on you, Sheriff.
You only asked one question. You have 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to.
Uh,
No, you don't have to.
well, so what sort of creature is it? Exactly. He calls it the shadow people. What is it?
So the actual monster is a shade. So it doesn't like physically manifest like it's a person. But if you were to have looked at your shadow, which was caused by your flashlights, then you would have seen the shadow person, with his hands around Balthazar's neck.
So shade,
What else should we ask?
does the shade is controlled by somebody?
Probably.
Do they act on their own free will, or
Yeah, like that.
How long have the shade been inflicting this town? Because this sounds like more of something that you ask like out of character and out of game.
It
Yeah.
is absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're asking the keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
Unless I want to throw in some flair from the sheriff.
Yeah.
It's been a few months. They've been showing up for the last few months, so maybe since August. But remember, I'm not gonna. If it ruins part of the story, I'm not gonna tell you.
Don't fuck up the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might have to give me a second to think about it, so that I don't
rolled
ruin
a
the story.
critical.
Good roll, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Just because pop
I want
is cool.
Simon's gonna try to pick up the pieces of that device he threw at it and study it.
Oh, when we successfully investigate a mystery, I may ask, what magic was done here?
Shadow magic.
Thank
He's
you.
making that up.
Well, it's shadow people. Shadow magic.
I know. So no necromancy afoot.
No, it's
Okay.
not related to the necromancers.
Cool.
Even though you
what
guys
is
seem to be hell bent on killing Grandpa and beating the shit out of little Eddie.
Nobody said we were gonna
recruiting
beat
Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah.
Technically, the sheriff wants little Eddie to kill Grandpa and put him back.
I want to kidnap Eddie and study him.
Yeah, not study him, make him join the team.
Well, if that's what it. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to
exactly.
become a new pop.
All right. So what do I see? What does the device look like?
So the device has been
Is it advanced? Is it?
well, I mean, what's left is just little slivers of silver.
Oh. Okay.
You can kind of smell some sulfur in there.
I
that's
pocket one
kind
of
of it.
the shards and I put it in my pocket. Okay.
Well, let's keep on walking down this long and lonesome road.
So sheriff, looking a little, not quite nervous, but a little unsettled. Like he kind of feels bad that he didn't tell you about the shadow people, but he doesn't know if he can trust you yet. So he just kind of has that odd look on his face, and he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about back in town. I promise you can trust me. Just help me find little Eddie, and I'll explain everything." So about that time, you hear a child's laughter coming from a cave in the back, and some scuffling and a little bit of moaning, and Billy's giggling. He's like, "Ha, do it again, Grandpa, do it again."
Well, it doesn't sound like Grandpa's trying to bite or do anything to him, so either his old remnants is still there and he wants to be friends with his grandson, or little Billy's still controlling him.
Well, remember, Grandpa just died, so he's not like a rotting corpse. He's old, but he just died like that day, or maybe the day before, so they had time to do the funeral.
Did they have an open casket?
A forced open casket?
Well, I'm just wondering, is that, they put...
I mean, it wasn't, and then, Grandpa decided otherwise, or little Eddie.
So Simon will kind of say, like, what's the play here, Sheriff? I mean, what's the plan? Do you want us to go in there and investigate, or do you have another device you'd like to whip out?
Yeah, I guess you would be into that, wouldn't you?
I mean, I absolutely am.
I'll get you another one later. How about that?
Sure.
And he goes, nah. He's like, come with, but we're just going to pop in and say hello.
Simon looks very nervously at
He
his
starts,
partners.
he starts walking towards the cave.
I'll walk
You
up
did.
too.
You did call his mom, right?
She's the
Where-
one that
where-
called. She's the
where are all
one that
the
told
other
me.
townfolk looking for little Billy.
They went back
Already.
home. They didn't seem to be too worried. I mean, it's not a whole lot out here that really considered dangerous.
Just necromancers and shade monsters.
I mean, for the most part, the necromancers don't do nothing.
No, it makes sense. Several generations of inbreeding is why this makes sense. These butt-fuck nowhere towns, I tell you what.
All right, yeah, you might want to put a muzzle on this one when we get into town.
I apologize for his behavior.
I just ignore him. You should try the same.
That's probably a good, yeah.
Yes, there's only been 4 good rolls and they've all been mine. But let's take me out of the equation. Let me go talk to him. It seems like he misses his grandpa, and well, I can give him the experience he'll always want: a grandpa that never dies.
You're not grooming him to be your boyfriend later, right?
No, what the fuck?
Yeah, something about that's kind of worrying. I'll handle this one. You guys,
Then why the fuck are we here, Sheriff?
shadow people. I'll be right back. So he goes into the cave, and you can hear him talking to Billy, trying to get him to release Grandpa. And you can hear, Sheriff, check out what Grandpa can do. And you kind of peek inside, and Grandpa's doing the Thriller, Michael Jackson
my
Thriller
God.
dance.
It's like fucking Andy Griffith. Now, come on now, Eddie. You put that corpse where it belongs.
I've been to a lot of countries and a lot of country in those countries, but no country's worse than American country.
Ding, 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 ding.
So you hear Sheriff from the cave. He's like, all right, Eddie. He's like, come here a minute. It's like, Grandpa passed away yesterday, right? Yeah, and he's right here. He seems to be fine. Now, no, Eddie, we need to go see your parents, but you need to put Grandpa back first. Grandpa needs to go see Grandma.
I'm recording this. I've whipped out a camcorder after the sheriff went to go handle biz.
My eyes are starting to water a little bit. Feel bad for little Billy, Eddie.
Why did I go with Billy?
Well, I said Billy,
Oh, okay.
and that's my bad because I actually this part of it was going to be my one-off when we did our test game, and the kid's name was Little Billy.
Oh, okay.
But I ended up renaming him Edward Kelly after some guy from 1855 who was a convicted necromancer, like in real life.
Ah.
So
Is he from Bourne, Oregon?
no,
Oh, you
he's
just
from
put
like
his
England, but just the
middle
name,
of nowhere.
which I realize that's not something anybody would ever get, but it was cool for me.
No, that is cool.
Learning and
That's the kind of stuff
knowing.
Simon would study.
Yeah.
Exactly. He thinks it's cool.
Yeah, so maybe Simon actually knows that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's a fact. Could be little long lost ancestor. Little Eddie was named after his great grandfather.
Like
No
our
relation to Colonel Gentleman.
Everything's. It's like Star Wars. Everything's related.
Our ancestors are a little bit overrated.
So little Eddie and the sheriff start walking out, and sheriff's got his hand on his shoulder, and he's like, "All right, Eddie, you know what to do. Go put Grandpa back so he can rest."
You know what to do. God.
It's like, I don't know how you did it. You've got to know how you did it, and we'll take you back home to your parents. So Billy's looking all sad, and his head's down. And he walks back, puts Grandpa back in his grave, and the sheriff puts him in his Jeep. Says, all right, well, that was easy.
What the fuck? I
Now, I suppose you've all got a lot of questions, so go ahead and hop back in your van and follow me into town.
Is he going to drop off little Eddie first at his house?
Doesn't matter. He said to get in your van and follow him into town.
So I guess we'll find out.
He's not my boss.
Literally.
So I leave the camera on as we get back in the van, as I'm like to kind of chronicle what's happening, and I'm like, "What is this? This is the kind of stuff we would have been called about little Eddie in the first place. What do you guys make of this? We should probably tell the base, right? We should probably tell the boss.
Do you have a radio?
I have a cell phone."
The sheriff asked
Do you
us.
have service out here?
He checks. No. Well, shit. No.
Well, the sheriff asked us to help with little Eddie, right? And then he didn't need our help at all.
Yeah, that is odd. It's almost like he was showing us what we're in for. If this isn't weird to him, but they called us, something weirder is about to happen.
Well, a town full of necromancers, and they never raise
Oh my
the
god,
dead.
it's one family. It's not a whole town of necromancers.
Yes, but as my counterpart pointed out, all of them are fucking each other, so they're in turn all family. Right?
Oh, now you shut up.
It's okay. We're all in the van.
Well,
It's
every
fine.
time I speak, you're like, just ignore him. He's senile. Just ignore him. But then 10 minutes later, oh, I'm just going to say exactly what you said.
Right.
Young people these days.
Well, you kept offending the sheriff. Like, you
Man,
just
fuck him.
blatant-
His name's Sheriff.
Okay, well,
This is Podunk, fucking Oregon.
not professional in terms of dope.
Hey, we all
Not
live
here to offend people.
We all live in Oregon.
Yeah.
And
Born Oregon.
I would consider Salem podunk and trashy.
You know, I
Nope.
looked up Bourne, Oregon. It's actually described as a ghost town.
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
In real life, it was an
Good
old
choice.
mining town.
Yeah.
It was. And now no one wants to live there because no one wanted to live there during.
So you see the sheriff start his Bronco. He does like a 3-point turn, gets it pointing back the right way, and you see his hand stick out the window like, hey, follow me.
I follow.
So you drive up the road about 10 minutes. You don't see any more shadow people. It's pretty quiet.
How does the town look?
You're not at the town yet.
Oh, sorry.
Is it still dark?
Yes.
And what does the time
At
say
thi-
in
at
our
this point,
van?
At this point, it's natural dark because it's
Okay.
like 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So in November, it gets dark fairly early. So you're driving along the road, and it's dark now. Everyone's got their lights on. And you hear a train horn in the distance. Then you see the sheriff roll up to some train tracks, and he stops, like he's waiting for the train. And then you see some guy come up next to the van, and he goes, oh, God damn it. I hope it works this time.
To our van?
And then he kind of gets himself pumped up like he just came out of the woods. He runs past the sheriff's Bronco and jumps right in front of the train. Our party is in for quite a ride, as evil stirs and darkness rides. Will our heroes stop the coming tides, or join the fools where cowards hide? Oops, We Broke the Multiverse presents The Witch and the Wanderer.
Thank you for listening to Oops, We Broke the Multiverse podcast. You can find us right now on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Oops, We Broke the Multiverse podcast. Our crew today, keeper this season, Anthony Gabba. Hazel Foster was played by Anne-Marie Cruz. Simon Beadwetter was played by Sean Cruz. And of course, Colonel Balthazar was played by Anthony O'Neill. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for our next episode.